Here we go with a look at advertising from Mrs. Thomas and Mr. Orth. The key here is looking for the opportunity to know, understand, and apply the use of advertising techniques. First, take a moment and independently or with a partner, depending on your teacher's instructions, brainstorm a list of the different kinds of advertisements or places you may find advertising. For some folks, it's helpful to consider physically where places you might go and what you might see for advertising there. In the process, you might be thinking about what is and what isn't advertising. Go ahead and take a minute to do that. Okay, you're back. What'd you get? Make sure that you consider what you have and what your peers have too. Add those things together and to see if you had some similar thoughts or whether or not you had some very unique ways of looking at it. For example, you may have thought of TV commercials, but did you think about when products are actually placed in the TV commercials? What you put down as far as sporting events goes, those both live and on TV. Did you think about advertisements even in terms of within the music or music videos? Did you think about advertising on the web, like YouTube? Advertising is a lot bigger than sometimes we think it might be. Alright, the three purposes of communication. For our purposes, we're going to look at those as simply being to inform, to persuade, or to entertain. The key with these is that we want to keep it to a number of three. So some teachers might add to express as a fourth purpose for communication. We're going to consider that personal expression where you're doing it just for your own interest and your own benefit, not for anyone else. We're going to consider that a form of entertaining yourself. Whereas, for example, if you are going to write something to reflection, thinking about an experience and processing it more carefully, perhaps that's informing yourself. We'll try to keep it to three and not add too much to the mix. So, first question to think about. Is advertising mostly informative? Is it mostly persuasive? Or is it mostly entertaining? First, those of you who thought, well, all three, well, you could argue yes. Advertising typically, especially when it's effective, is going to incorporate different portions of all three of those. If we had to pick one of the three as being what advertising usually is mostly or is in trying to accomplish, it's trying to be persuasive. How does it do that? Well, we look at the three different types of appeals. Now again, when you're taking notes, I don't recommend writing things down word for word entirely, but look for keywords. Look for certain parts of that are important that your brain can latch onto. Ideally, try to keep those to phrases that are 7 words or fewer. An appeal by a dictionary is a power or ability to attract, interest, amuse, stimulate the mind or emotions. In those terms, the idea is it's trying to draw you in. So how do we effectively persuade? Well, we look at using one of the three different types of appeal. Appeals to logic or reason. This is also called logos, L-O-G-O-S, which comes from the Greek word, meaning word. Logic and reason uses facts and other data to change someone's mind. The other term for logical or reasoning appeals is also called argumentation. So if you're looking for keywords, it might be changing someone's mind or facts and data. Second appeal is appeals to emotion. So we're using symbols or other ideas, oftentimes ones that have their words that are loaded with emotion or they're perceived from a certain point of view. Those influence particular emotions or feelings. This is all in Greek, the term is pathos, P-A-T-H-O-S. The other type is appeals to morals. There's applications of one's personal or universal sense of right and wrong. There's actually two different terms here at work. One's universal sense of right and wrong, always right or never right, those kinds of things, that's actually your morals or morality. Sometimes people include in there an appeal to ethics, E-T-H-I-C-S. That's kind of a personal or really a situational sense of right and wrong, saying that in certain points, certain times, certain ways, it's okay to do this or not okay to do that. Think of the idea of being honest. If we think of honesty as something you always have to be, that means you never even get to fake someone out in a sport as an opponent. Or you would never get to act to pretend you're a different character on stage. So, oftentimes the lines between morality and ethics has to do with whether or not it's always or if it depends. Alright, let's look at the three types of appeals with a little more detail. I'll have you watch a short video about 5.5 minutes long on logos, ethos, and pathos. If you're on your own computer, you can just actively press this link here. Or what you can do is, if you need to, copy and paste or type in this particular link into your browser and pull it up that way. Go ahead. Come back to the video when you're done. Oh, by the way, while you're watching it, make sure you clearly indicate kind of which is which as far as the three different types. If you have a chance, please go ahead and write down any examples or information you get in addition to your notes from the screen.